Spoiler warning. If you haven't watched the show that we are discussing today and want to avoid spoilers, stop right there. Go binge and come on back. If you have or don't mind spoilers, sit back with your favorite drink and enjoy. Okay. Hi, guys.
Hello.
Today, we're doing things a bit differently. We're actually going live on Instagram. Or Instagram or Facebook?
Instagram.
Oh, okay. But anyways, welcome. We're talking about One Spring Night today.
Yeah. I have notes here just to kind of it's such a
there's a lot.
It's like one main theme to it, but there's a lot to it, and I had a lot to on my mind watching it. So
but two of our favorite actors,
yes, everybody's favorite actors, like Jung Hae-In and Han Ji-min are some of the best actors there are, right? So
I think he was like my first favorite Korean actor.
Actually, yeah, he was.
Right?
Actually, yeah, even you watched you've seen Lee Jong-Seok.
Mm-hmm.
You've seen who else did you see before? You've seen, oh my God, Yoon Shi-yoon before.
Mm-hmm.
You've seen Kim Woo-bin before, and
like,
it was Jung Hae-In.
They're all great, but there's something about him that just stands out.
Yeah, and it's him. It's Jung Hae-In that really,
like the boy next door type of.
I guess so. Like, and while you were sleeping, that's where we all kind of first saw him.
And it's like for sure second lead syndrome.
Yeah.
Like hardcore for sure.
Yeah. And as much as I love Lee Jong-Seok, it was really hard to be like, yeah. And then but Jung Hae-In, you're just like, damn it. So, okay, so it's almost 8. Should we start the live? Okay. Let's start this. So I go here, I'm guessing. And here. Okay. And then I go hit this.
Yeah.
Checking connection. Okay, I've never done a live before.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. We're now live. Okay. I've never done a live before, so this is going to be interesting. So whatever you guys don't catch on the live, this is going to be up on Friday at the usual time. So it should be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll see what happens.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you can do filters.
Anyways, so back to the show.
Okay, back to the show.
So, quick synopsis-ish?
Yeah, so the three main characters, it's almost an ensemble cast. Excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
But it's the three main characters is it's Han Ji-min that plays Lee Jeong-In.
Mm-hmm.
You have Jung Hae-In who plays Yoo Ji-ho,
Mm-hmm.
and you have Kim Joo-Han as Kwon Gi-Seok. Okay,
Yeah.
so Kwon Gi-Seok. So Ji-Seok is Jung-In's ex-boyfriend, or to be like, so she breaks up with him.
Current boyfriend, ex-boyfriend.
Yeah, at the beginning of the show, they're dating. They were dating for a while, and then they end up breaking up. But he doesn't accept the breakup. That's the whole. That's a big thing.
Yeah.
And then Ji-ho comes in. She meets Ji-ho, technically through him, because he's his junior from college.
Yeah. But they met first at the pharmacy.
They did meet first at the pharmacy. So so they meet, and we got nobody yet. So they meet, and then they become friends ish. And you obviously know Ji-ho wants more than that, because he got really, really, really interested. Yeah. Granted, he was very reserved about it.
Yeah.
Because one, he knew she was dating somebody, and two, he had a kid.
Yeah.
Right. And that's like the main subject of this whole thing is that she ends up leaving her boyfriend
for someone with a child. Granted, her relationship was going nowhere, and she wanted to end it either way. But she was just kind of stuck in a loop.
Yeah. So it's in that state where you're comfortable, or you don't need to be comfortable.
Yeah.
Okay, not need to be comfortable, but you're in. There's a lot of people like this.
It's just kind of easy.
Yeah, and it sucks because there are a lot of people I've met people like this, and I've told them like, yo, it just because you're comfortable, just because it's comfortable doesn't mean it's right. Not that it's not wrong, but it's not what you really want.
Yeah.
Right.
You could be in like such a better relationship with someone that
actually like you fall in love with, that you actually get along with, not just 'cause you're just doing the same thing every time, like you know what I mean? So that was like, so her relationship was going nowhere. There was no love in that relationship, and his whole purpose was to keep her
until he found, like, it seemed like until he found someone better.
I don't even know.
Yeah.
Like, it was all about his pride at the end. Like he couldn't grasp the fact that he has a good job. He's from a wealthy family. His background's amazing. He's decent looking. You know what I mean? He checks all the boxes for the parents. You know what I mean? So it's like, why would she leave me for some, my junior pharmacist who has a kid?
But it's funny because like even his father was like, if she like, until he, I don't know.
Yeah, at one point his dad was like,
just leave it.
Just give it up, man.
Like, you look pathetic at this point.
Yeah. But nothing yet. That's whatever. This will be interesting. So the big thing about the show, okay, the one thing that really brought me to watch it, to get you, like, for us to watch it, like, I found out about because we just finished we watched Jung Hae-In in While You Were Sleeping, and then he came out with Something in the Rain, and then the same director, so the director of Something in the Rain wanted Jung Hae-In in this show. Okay,
so this, like, the cinematography kind of makes sense there.
So then it's the same director. Yeah. So that's why it's really similar, right?
Yeah. Both shows are so good.
Yeah, they are. They're really, really good. And so when I heard he was cast for this role, and I saw the synopsis, and I'm like, yo, we need to watch this. She's a librarian, and he's a single father. Which is the funniest thing ever, because
it's the switch.
It's the switch. Us. So, for those who don't know, my child is not my biological child. He's technically my stepchild, and I met him when he was 6. Yeah. So
around the same
So right
age.
after it was right after his 6th birthday.
Yeah.
So ever since then, I've been raising him. Well, we've been raising him, but I've been raising him.
Thanks.
So, and I was working at the library for up to like 13 years. I ended up, the year this show came out, we ended up getting married, and then I ended up quitting the library a few months later. But when the show was playing, this started the week before we got married.
Oh, did it actually?
Yeah.
Okay.
So the week after we got married, and then 2 months later, I quit, and I ended up getting a new job. So, like, reading the synopsis, seeing the trailer, and like the preview for it, I was like, this is us. You know what I mean? Like, this is like a different version of like our like whole relationship and whatnot. So this was it was really interesting.
Yeah, it was cool.
So
I think that's why we liked it so much, because it was so relatable for us.
Yeah, and it was so what I liked about the director, because Something in the Rain did this, like, he did it so similar to Something in the Rain. Excuse me. Is that he brings a lot of realism to his work. a lot of because you know how they exaggerate, right? And dramas, they exaggerate a bit. TV shows, they exaggerate a bit. Obviously, this was a little, no, I wouldn't even say exaggerated, actually. Okay, so it was a little exaggerated on the, actually, no, you know what? I won't even say it was exaggerated because this is the type of shit that actually can happen in real life and has happened to somebody somewhere, right?
I don't think it was exaggerated at all.
No,
I think
exactly.
It was like spot on.
Yeah, I agree. And that's what really captivated me, us per se, because it was so real and relatable, and it's real situations and real people and their feelings and the relationships, right? Because there's so much to it. It's like the whole thing. Yeah. So the whole thing is like he has a kid. He's a single father. So the mom, he
left after the kid was like a month old.
Yeah. So that she dropped off the baby and she dipped.
Yeah.
And then he couldn't find her. Right?
Yeah.
So he wanted to search for her. Couldn't find her. So he was a single father from when the kid was a baby.
Yeah.
Right. And it's like, that's a big, huge thing, right? It's not a burden, as some of them would say in the show, but a responsibility. Right?
It's a very big responsibility.
Very big. He was
what, 25 when it happened, I think?
I think so. He's like 30 something. He's early 30s. So it happened in his late 20s.
Yeah.
Which isn't terrible.
No,
right?
Like that's around the age a lot of people now are getting married.
Yeah, getting married and having kids. But being a single father at that age, when you don't know anything about being a parent, right? So that's
who really knows how to be a parent when they first have a kid, really?
Yeah. But that's the biggest. That's the thing that not ties everything, but like that's the biggest issue with everything in the show. Everything ties around like everybody just points fingers at him, like, oh, I'm having an issue, but let's divert the attention to the guy that has a kid, who's single and has a kid. Let's do that. And he's trying to get married to. He's trying to date somebody. You know, like it's like that's rude. You know.
It's interesting. I think compared to here, yes, you get a lot of looks as a single parent, and I did have my child young.
Yeah.
I think it's more in the fact that you're young and you look inexperienced. You don't seem like you know what you're doing. But then people look at you differently once they know kind of like you're there for the kid, you know? Like, and you're...
Yeah. And it's funny because as bad as this is, in either you're here in Korea or in the Arab countries, you'll get looked at differently whether you're a single father or a single mother. Yeah. Right? Especially if you're young. You're young.
And divorced.
Or divorced, yeah. So if you're a single, let's say you're a single mother, not married, you had a kid out of wedlock, and the guy ends up just saying, I don't want anything to do with the kid, and disappears. Whatever. If that's the case, good for him. Get rid of him. You know what I mean? Like, if he's not going to want to take responsibility, then there's nothing you can do about it. Yeah. Don't force it on him because it's going to make things worse. You know what I mean? Try and figure out your life without him. Yeah. And I know that sounds bad, but that's the way.
Sometimes you just have to kind of purge the negativity in your life.
So we'll say you're a single mother, you're young, you're in your 20s. If you go and if you're at the store with your kid and they're like, kids acting up, all kids act up. What do you would like? No matter who you are, no matter how well disciplined your child is, they're gonna act up one way or another. If they're tired, they're hungry, you know what I mean? Like, they're gonna act up. Kid acts up in the mall and like, where's the child's father? The father should have disciplined him more, or whatever. Like, you know what I mean? Oh, I can't. No wonder. He's such a brat because he doesn't have a father or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, that's the type of shit that you'll end up hearing. Yeah. As a single mother. As a single father, here anyways, you'll get, you know, what? Oh, you're so good. Like, oh my God, I can't believe you're doing this all on your own. And oh my God, you're so amazing. And it's like, are you fucking kidding?
Because it's not as common.
Guys. I know it's not as common, but it's like, it shouldn't matter whether you're like, if the girl's the one that left, you know what I mean? I should get the same reaction as if the guy left. You know what I mean? Like, if the woman shouldn't be treated just because they're a woman, they shouldn't be treated like, oh, he doesn't have a father, so she can't raise him properly. You know what I mean?
I don't think that's the case.
I know. But like some people, well, that's like some like, so in our culture, in the Arab culture, is very similar to the Koreans. Okay, very very similar to the Asian culture, where it's like
you need a father.
You need a man in the kid's life. Like, man needs to be in the kid's life. The father needs to be in the kid's life, regardless of what the situation. The father should be in the kid's life.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, that's not the case.
Yeah.
Because even if the father is in the picture, it doesn't always mean the father's raising the kid with the mother, right?
I think, like, you can raise a kid with father figures and male figures in his life or her life. Uncles. Like, before you came in, there was my dad who taught, who spent so much time with him, and like you could just catch them sitting on the couch together watching TV, action movies and stuff. So I think there's ways around it. Yeah. It sucks that maybe the kid's parent, whatever parent, isn't in their life, but I think other than the child being disappointed when they get older, there's ways around it. Yeah,
I agree. And it's one of the so in the show at one point, the Jeong-In's older sister So-in is pregnant. Yeah, she wants to divorce her abusive husband, and the mom says, and like, I feel bad because like the mom is great because she struggles with the husband and herself and trying to have her own opinion on every matter that happens with her kids. You know what I mean? And she tries so hard not to have her husband's opinion dominate her own opinion, and she uses that, you know what I mean? So what she says to her own daughter, you're going to raise your kid all by yourself. It's like, if your mom is saying that, does that mean your mom's not going to help you out there? Like, essentially, like, I don't want to put anything like on anybody for saying something like that, but in reality, if, you know, God forbid anything like that happens where Zach has a kid and the mom dips, I'm not going to be like, oh, you're going to raise him on your own? Oh, good luck with that. I'd be like, no, that kid comes home. You know what I mean? Like, it's, you don't put the blame on the child. The child did nothing wrong.
No, because you were the ones that brought them into this life.
So the child deserves a chance, right? So if they're having the child, don't be like, oh, you're gonna raise them all by yourself. Well, no. If you're a nice parent and she has sisters who love her and care about her, she's not gonna be alone. No, she's gonna have the support that she needs, and she's gonna have the help that she needs.
See, what I was surprised with that was that, so she was going through the divorce, and then they were trying to sell the house or the apartment that they were living in. Why wouldn't the parents, or why wouldn't, like, once they resolved the issues, why wouldn't they ask her to come live with them?
Because I think the father, the one that struggled the most with changing, like, kind of, and I get it because of the way their mentality is like at an older age like that, when you're stuck in your ways, you're stuck in your ways, and it's really hard to change.
He also has like an appearance in society, right? Like, he wants to keep
that's what he cares about. He cares about his appearance in society, and that's what the issue is, that he cares so much about his image that he's trying to force his daughter to stay married to an abusive person. Yeah, someone who literally beat her, kicked her, and pretty much raped her. Right? Yeah. But he cares about his image. Granted, down the line, he starts to kind of because the mom really kind of moves out, starts moves out for a few days, comes back, but that was enough for her to change and not have her husband's opinion overtake hers.
I find that so surprising because as a father, like, he doesn't seem like he hits his wife. And he seems like, as much as he overpowers her opinion, he does respect her and her space.
I guess so. Yeah, so, like, he does. Like, he doesn't hit her.
Like, why would you allow your daughter to...
Okay. Sorry.
Like, why would you allow your daughter to have that happen to her? Like, why? Like, honestly, if I was a dad and that happened to one of my kids,
he's getting his ass kicked right there.
Yeah, like, there's no exception. There's no nothing. There's no excuse for that type of behavior. Whether you're drunk, whether you're high, whether you're sober. Like, the moment you hit someone, there's no coming back from it.
Exactly. And I 100% agree. And that was the issue with that, right? So, but that's where it's like the parents should be helping their child, right? And that was a cool difference between her parents and his parents. Whereas when his parents have been helping him raise the kid from the get-go, right? They weren't, mad, you know what I mean? They were obviously kind of like shocked and surprised, maybe even a little disappointed, but they didn't show it because they were raising the kid with such love, right? Allowing him to even live on his own, closer to his work, so that he doesn't have to travel so much, right? Like, that's some solid ass parents right there. I can have a kid, you can raise it while I go and work and live on my own. Like obviously it's obviously more to it than that, but
different situation.
Yeah. So it's really interesting to see they're the complete opposites.
I also feel like when you're like a single father and you have kind of like that hang over your head, it might be harder to get a job. Again, your appearance, for some reason in Korea, they know like everything about you when you get a job.
Yeah. It's harder, from what I can gather, it's harder for women.
Okay, so same as here.
Right? To get jobs if they're a single mother.
Yeah.
They have kids. So one of the things, and I hope to God that maybe it'll change, maybe it's not as I think it is, that I see it as it is that a lot of other countries are like this too. Our country was like this for a long time. Like, we're just starting to finally have women being paid equally to men and whatever. But slowly but surely we're getting there. And like, there shouldn't be a difference in pay
when you're doing the same work.
We're all human. You're doing the same work. If someone is an assistant and the other assistant, one's male, one's female, they should be being paid the same as long as they started at the same time. If one started before the other, yes, one of them's going to get paid more because the raises and stuff like that. And it was in like Korea, the issue is they believe, oh, you're a woman? Oh, you're going to get married, you're going to have kids, you're going to take so much time off. We don't want that. Like, we want someone that's going to work here all the time. And that's why it's easier for men to get jobs, because men will just slave away. Right? They'll just make the man slave away. And it's like, oh, if the man has no kids, it's perfect. He'll work overtime. Women are not going to work overtime. They're going to have kids. They're going to want married and blah, 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 and all that stuff. So it's like, guys will get married. Guys will have to take care of his kids too. You know what I mean? Like, but it's, you know?
I don't feel like it's the same thing though, right? They expect the women to take care of the kids and to pick them up and do everything for the kids.
Like our culture.
Yeah.
Like the Arab culture. It's similar to that, where it's like, the old school mentality is women should be, cooking, cleaning, taking care of the kids. Men should be out working, making money.
But
Fuck that.
But it's not realistic anymore. You don't make enough money.
No one makes enough money on one fucking income.
Yeah.
Right?
Like, you go out and work and you get paid however much you get paid, and that's great to pay the rent on the house or the mortgage on the house, but how do you afford everything else?
Yeah, exactly. And it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Right? It's like I want to know if you're living on one income,
How much are you making?
how much are you making? What are you doing, and how do I do it? Please. So that's the issue, right? And that's where a single parent, like a single father, would have a little bit more of an edge over a woman.
Yeah.
Because one, he's a man, so excuse me. Men are more reliable. So okay, yeah, he has a kid. Yeah, all right, but that woman has a kid. Oh no, she's gonna be more geared to, raising her kids. So we're gonna pick the man over the woman. And it's like, come on, man, come on. We're all human. We're all capable of the same things. Like, stop it. And I may sound a little biased because I was raised by women. I have 4 older sisters. I have my mom. My sisters were popular, and they had lots of female friends. Always. And when I worked in the library, predominantly women.
And even in your job
My job
women.
now is mostly women. Yeah. All my bosses were always women. Even, all my bosses were women. And no offense, but like one of my the men that I worked for were gay. You know what I mean? Like,
so they have the feminine side.
They have the feminine side, but they also have the what do you call it? The prejudice against them, right? Right? The LGBTQ community. Yeah. They also have that, you know what I mean, against them. Like, there's always prejudice against somebody. Like, it's just, if you're a man, a white man, it's easier for everybody, right? It's easier for them. Whereas, like, if you're a gay white man, if you're a woman, right? But my bosses are always women, raised by women, and when I worked with men, some of them really sucked. Granted, women suck too, because one of the people I worked with that I hated the most was a girl who was just a bitch, and she was like, I'm pretty sure she was like borderline racist, prejudiced, like she whatever your beliefs were,
she didn't believe in them.
She laughed in your face.
Oh my God.
So we're all human. Yeah. Men or women, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter your sexual orientation, your gender, your race, your culture. We're all fucking human. And I know I was trying to say not to swear on this podcast, but I mean, I just,
very
passionate.
I was like, what word am I supposed
supposed
to be using
right? Here? So anyways, back to
little tangent there.
Back to what we were talking about. So basis is him being a single father, right? And that's what was the biggest issue when she tries to date him. She
tries to.
Yeah, like she does, but he doesn't accept it.
Yeah.
And goes and dates him, Ji-ho. And then Gi-Seok finds out that he had a kid, and he's like, oh, that's it. Yeah. I'm going to use this to my advantage. I want to make sure everybody around her, like she went to her friends, her sisters, tried to go to her parents and tell them, oh, she's dating a guy with a kid. It's not good for her. It's not good for her reputation. The fuck do you know?
So, I don't understand, like, well, first of all, get a life.
Yeah.
Like, when you, unless, like, the first few episodes, you can kind of see their relationship. They literally sit in the car and don't talk.
Yeah, because there's nothing there.
Yeah, and it looks so awkward. And it's like, why would you ever want that for yourself in your life?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like now people are so much more free to date more than one person in their lifetimes to find that person.
Yeah.
So why torture yourself and be with someone that you have no connection with?
And she figured that out.
Yeah.
She met Jiho and she figured that out. She's like, why am I wasting my life away when I don't love this guy?
And there's nothing there.
It's like we're together for convenience, but his dad doesn't accept me.
Yeah.
Why am I still with this guy?
I still never understood why he didn't accept her, though. Just because it wasn't like they weren't. Because I feel like
I think I have no idea. I think he wanted somebody with more influential power or some shit like that. Like, she was a librarian. What is a librarian gonna do? Yeah. Granted, librarians have access to all the knowledge that we can friggin' get our hands on. Like, I mean, without librarians, without libraries, we wouldn't know anything. Like, where are we gonna get freedom of information? But anyways, yeah. So I think he just wanted someone with more influence in whatever. What I don't even at this point I don't fucking know. Like, he was just stupid. He's just like, he had, as soon as he didn't want to meet her, didn't accept her.
Did they? I don't think they met like at all throughout their entire relationship.
No, he refused. So he when he finally meets her, oh, she's feisty. I kind of like her.
It's like you could have met her like 7 years ago.
Yeah,
and
literally.
You would have liked her. Maybe the relationship would have actually gone somewhere.
Well, because her background, who she is, what she does. No, not worth it.
But you think because her father works for him.
Well, that's why. He's not more powerful than he is.
But he's
not.
Why
would I marry my son to someone who's not gonna get me like more power? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's what it is. Like, fuck. Too much on my hands. I'm like, I'm looking. I'm like, oh.
But I don't know. That entire relationship was weird, and like the entire time, like every episode, there was a good like 10 minutes of him trying to like bash him or bash her or like get back to her or whatever. And it's like, can you just go away?
So that's another thing. Like, he was very manipulative.
Yes. He
did not treat her properly.
But he wasn't good at it.
He wasn't good at it. He wasn't good at it at all. But like, he was really like, you know, those people who are not passively aggressive, but mean, but they don't make it sound mean. Yeah. That's the way he was. Like, aggressive, but didn't sound aggressive, right? Because he wasn't aggressive like this. He was just like, I'm gonna fucking kill you kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like, not like, I'm a for you know? So like, he was like a quiet, aggressive, like a really quiet, mean person. Yeah. So you wouldn't even think, like, no one would think that, oh, he's so nice to people. Like, he's not mean. He's not manipulative.
So, gotta give it to him. He played the role really well.
Oh yeah, he's great. Oh man.
He was aggressive and he was manipulative, but he didn't. I hate to say this. He didn't do it in a smart way.
No, I think he was a little sloppy.
He was very sloppy. Yeah. I feel like it could have been done a lot better.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Like, he could have. I feel like this is really bad to say, but I feel like I could have done a lot more damage to that whole thing. Like, you know, like there's ways to go about it and like implant things in people's minds.
Right, but you're a little bit more you are more like she is, or you're very feisty and like straightforward. Like, he tries to go the sneaky route, right? You when you're mad, you can see you coming. He's mad. He's just like, I'm gonna follow
because
this
his
guy
face
home.
is like a docile face. Yeah. Like, he's so blah.
But he's so good. I agree. He is so good. He was in another show called The Time, and he played a character that would do anything for power, and because he came from a poor family, and he wanted to prove to the girl that he was dating or that he loved that he can get all this power, but he was doing some really shady, some really dirty stuff. Like this guy was like the biggest scumbag ever. Like you wanted somebody dead, you just tell this guy and he'll either go get something to do or he'll do it himself. That's like freaky. As long as you're paying him money and giving him more power. Oh man, but he was so good. Yeah. So good. Yeah. It's like
I wonder if he would have been okay if she broke up with him, obviously waited a bit and then ended up dating someone else without a kid. Like if it was just the issue with the kid that was the thing that bugged him, or it was like, if you're not dating me, you're not dating anyone.
Yeah, I think that was the issue, is that like they were together for so long and then she was just like, fuck it, I don't want to be with you anymore. Yeah. And I think that really hurt his pride. And it's like, well, why doesn't she want to be with me? Like, I'm the catch, not her. Yeah. You know what I mean? That's the way he thought. Like, I am better than Ji-Ho is. You know what I mean?
Not really.
Like, if we're going just by looks, you lost there. Even from a guy's perspective. I'm sorry. But it's like, it was that his pride that really got in the way there. And sorry, I just lost my train of thought.
I hated that he went so closer to the end of the show. He went to her mom, and like that entire conversation was so cringy. It was like,
oh, hi Simo.
It was just him. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it was really bad. Like that was that you saw his desperation at that point. You saw how desperate he was, and like the mom, that's where it's like you feel bad for the mom. She's in this situation where like, she knows what's going on. Yeah, and the fact that he's kind of like trying to badmouth him, and
like she's being pulled from like every direction.
Yeah. I really felt bad for her, and she did a good job kind of keeping her composure, right, not saying anything, because like in that situation you don't want to say anything. The guy's trying to badmouth your daughter's boyfriend because he can't get with your daughter anymore, and he's like, oh, let's plan our wedding,
let's plan the wedding, like, go away.
And she's like, what? What are you talking about? So this guy, like the relationship with Jeong-In and Ji-Seok was very toxic throughout the entire thing. Like Ji-Ho and Jeong-In had to deal with him the entire time, and then he would go to her brother-in-law, who is a big scumbag. Yeah. Right.
Well, the brother-in-law first reached out to him for a loan.
That's right, and he said no, because he couldn't do it.
Well, no, because didn't he have like 5 loans?
He had,
on him,
he had like 5 different
credit
loans
or something.
Yeah, exactly. So this piece of trash tries to manipulate the parents as well, right? And it's like, again, with the mom. The mom was pulled in many directions at this point too, because she finds out her daughter wants to divorce him, and then she's like, well, no, and this is a big issue too. So if you're in a toxic relationship, you don't stay together. No. It's bad for everybody. It's bad for you, it's bad for them, it's bad for the people around you, right?
For your mental health.
So the older sister understood this. Why? Because he beat the shit out of her. Yeah. And he pretty much raped her. Yeah. And when someone goes through that, they're not going to tell you straight up, oh, he beat me, that's why we're getting a divorce, right? She kept telling her mom, he was bad. He's bad. He's bad for me. He's bad. And mom's like, no. Like the dad's an idiot. And it was like, no, when he came to the dad and said, oh, I was drunk and I beat her and I hit her.
It's not an excuse.
And it's like, oh, he made a mistake. You shouldn't be getting divorced for this. It's like, motherfucker. Your daughter got hit by a guy when he was drunk. Imagine what he can do when he's sober. Okay, first of all,
didn't he do it when he was sober as well?
He was sober the entire time. Every time he hit her, he was sober. But I'm saying, like, in that situation, if the guy came up to me and said, I hit your daughter when I was drunk, you better fucking start running.
But the thing is, like, when you're sober, you have a bit more self-control. When you're drunk,
right. But
you don't know how far you'll go. Your inhibitions are gone.
Right. But if you're willing to do it when you're drunk,
yeah,
because you're drunk, you're letting it go. You're letting loose.
Yeah.
The fact that you did it while you were drunk, that means you're willing to do it when you're sober. You just had an excuse.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, why would you let your daughter go through that? Right? No, I say, oh, it was just a mistake. He did it when he was drunk. No.
It's not a mistake.
No. Like, you don't do that. You know what I mean? And like the poor mom was like, no, the poor mom knew the real story, and she was like, what do you do? She's like trying to stop him, but the scumbag was kept like cutting her off and was like, oh, it was a mistake, and I will never do it again. I'm so sorry. You can beat me up right now, but don't let us get a divorce.
I feel like at that point the father should have just told him to shut up and like let the mother speak and let the mother like take him aside. I know the father was
exactly
an idiot, but like, you know, like in a better situation you'd want to know the entire story and like why. And if your wife is saying that's not it, there's something wrong here.
In no situation does anybody deserve to get beat.
No.
Whether you're drunk or not. Okay. If she slapped you first and you slapped her back, whatever. But if you beat her, you know what I mean? If you, like, he kicked her, he beat her to the floor and started kicking her.
Yeah.
No. If someone were to do that to me, even if we'll say our kid decides to date a girl and she starts beating him and he comes home and he's like, yo, she beat me, I will make sure that her parents know, and I will beat every single one of them if I have to. Like, no one deserves that shit, right? And if our kid were to beat somebody, you definitely better send him to another country, or I'm gonna beat the shit out of him. I didn't teach him that. Okay, I didn't teach him to hit anybody. The only person he's allowed to hit is me. That's what we agreed on. So that's a major issue, because the dad is like feeding into these scumbags.
Yeah.
Right?
You can also see kind of like the old school and new school mentalities, right? Like the newer like people, the younger people who accept situations, right? And then you see the older parents, and they're not even that old really, but like,
well, so yeah, the older generation, it's like the Arab culture as well, where the older generation are really stuck in their ways. So all those things passed down, like we talked about in our last show about the generational stuff, generational ties, is that it's passed down through generation, right? So my parents are the way they are because of their parents, and their parents are the way they are because of their parents, and it's passed down. No one's cutting, no one's trying to change, right? No one's stopping that cycle, right, until it gets to someone who, like we are, me and my siblings are trying to change that, right? We want to change that. We want to be different. We want to
new traditions, new,
you know what I mean, like not the same mentality where it's like, you know, for example, when I brought home my current wife, not my second or third one, my current one, I'm just kidding, my one and only wife, home, or, you know, started dating, and telling my parents, oh, she has a kid. You know what I mean? Most Arab parents would be like, yo, chill the fuck out. You're not doing this. If you're screwing around with her, then get it over with. Get what you need and leave. Right? Well, my parents are kind of more modern, try to be more modern, because my dad is a little bit of a, he's
old school, but he has his own beliefs.
He's a different type of old school.
Yeah, he's a weirdo.
Yeah,
but we love him.
So he so his mentality is like, if like the way that they see it is like, okay, if you really care about this person, you have to be able to bear the responsibility of pretty much being the kid's father,
which is huge.
right?
Like it's
and
even I said it. It's like, do you
yeah.
really want this in your life?
Well, a lot of, like that was like the biggest thing. Well, that's what, you know what I mean. What was great is that you were really straightforward about it. It was like, yo, listen up, I got a kid. Decide from now.
Yeah.
Right? Before we even dated, when we just started talking to each other, you know?
Because I was in it to do something. Like, I wasn't in it to screw around. I was in it to find someone that could support me.
Right.
Not like financially, but like in life.
Exactly.
And my son. And like, if the person wasn't right, the person wasn't right. That was it. Move on.
Exactly. And I agree. And that's the thing, like, I had to think about it, obviously. I really thought about it. But it never, in my mind, even before, like with other girls I dated, if they had a kid, it wasn't something that would stop me. Right? If I really cared about the person, it didn't matter what, you know what I mean? They can have, you know, I mean, they can have 3 kids, divorced 4 times, but like, you know what I mean? If we got along, if I liked them, if I really felt for them, you know what I mean? Like, it didn't matter what they brought with them, because the whole point of being with somebody is to be with that person
and accept them for whatever they bring.
You'll be with that person, whoever that person is, whether it's a person who's divorced 3 times over, or someone who has never been with anybody before, you know what I mean? Like, or it's, you're with that person. Right? And that was my mentality. I, like, it didn't matter, right? Because I knew I have my own issues. I have my own issues. We all have our own issues. So it's like, you have to think about, okay, I can deal with their issues.
Yeah.
Can they deal with mine? Are they gonna be able to handle like the shit that goes on in my head? You know what I mean? So I'll handle whatever comes at me, but it's, will they be able to handle me? Will they leave after really knowing who I am? So when that when I thought about it, when we were talking, I was like, whatever. It's her kid. It's an extension of her. Yes, there's another dude, but I mean, as long as she's straight up about who this dude is, it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Like, if he was a good person and they split up amicably. Wow, I said that word. Ooh. That was good. I'm not saying it again. I would by all means take the kid to see his dad. Yeah. You know what I mean? Have the dad come pick up the kid. You know what I mean? Like, I would not keep him away from that. If the kid,
co-parenting
if the kid doesn't want to see his dad, yo, I'm gonna tell the dad straight up, yo, no, he doesn't want to see you. Yeah. You don't have to believe me. The kid's gonna say himself. I'm not making decisions for the child, right? And I've never done that with our kid. I've never ever said, don't go see your dad. Yeah. I always ask them, do you want to see your dad? I'm like, you want to see your dad? We take you to him. Whatever you want to do, you do it. So at one point he understood, right? And at one point your kids will understand, right? If you're separated, whatever, if
kids notice,
kids
like,
notice,
no
kids,
matter what it is, they
kids,
see it.
Yeah. And that was kind of like the hard part, right? In the show with Ji-ho, he was, Jeong-In was, she was very lucky that the mom disappeared. Yeah. And has been gone for years.
I think so. The way she approached it as well is similar to you. She got to know Ji-ho first. And yes, she knew he had a kid, but it was like, okay, but he's a great guy. Yeah. Like, let me see his side of the story.
Yeah. And that's it. It's like, yeah, you have a kid, but that kid's an extension of the person that you fell in love with. Right? So if you fell in love with this person, like I fell in love with you, I know I'm going to fall in love with the kid. Yeah. I know for sure, because it's, the child's an extension of you. You know, the kid is raised by you. The kid comes from you loving and taking care of him, right? And I know that it won't be an issue. And we haven't had any issues. You know what I mean? With the whole situation.
No.
And I know other people have it differently. A lot of other people will be divorced, co-parenting, stuff like that. And all the power to you. That's cool. That's awesome. That if you can actually find a middle ground when you're divorced and be able to co-parent with your ex's and their significant other, you know what I mean? Like that's great.
It's amazing.
Yeah, and then the kid has
me
more
your ways.
yeah, and then the kid has more love coming to him.
Yeah.
Right?
That's all it is. As long as they feel like they're safe, they're loved, they're taken care of. You're doing the best you can. And in this show, they take care of the kid. They love him. And even like once he meets her family, it's over. Like they love the kid. They've accepted it, and they're just like, okay, let's go.
Because people need to understand the kid did nothing wrong.
No.
The child did nothing wrong. Your kids did nothing wrong. So if there is an issue, it's with you and your significant other. The child is not the problem here. And like society needs to see that too, where it's like, yeah, they're single parents, but the kid didn't do anything wrong. Why are you punishing these people for having a child? Oh, sorry. It's the way of life.
Yeah.
Right? Things are bound to happen, and we try to make the best out of it.
Yeah.
Right? This show is, it's on Netflix. Watch it when you get a chance. It's a realistic portrayal of life.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're like hour and 10-minute long episodes. Oh, hey Blakely. But I mean, what's interesting is that they showed, and I really hope that Korea is a little bit better than what they portrayed in the show.
I hope so too.
And because we as Canadian, like in Canada, North Americans, Canada, we're doing a little bit better.
Yeah.
Right. Granted, I've never worked in a workplace where I've always been surrounded by women. So to me, women were always predominant, and to me, my superiors were always women. So I don't know, and I'm sorry, but I don't know the inequality, because I always see women as higher than me. Right? Women were always my superiors. Women were always the ones I went to for help. You know what I mean? I trained a lot of women in my job, but women were the always there with me. So me, I don't see. Obviously, there's a lot of inequality. Yeah. Right. But to me, it's from what I see, what I experienced, is that they were always. I always, raised them on a pedestal, pretty much, kind of thing. Like I always respected women. And I always thought women should be respected just like anybody else. You know what I mean? Like I would go to a woman before I go to a man for advice. You know what I mean? Like that was my thing. Yeah. And that was the way I saw things, and the way I, so that's why I was watching the show, and the way that they treat the women, especially the father treating his kids that way, where your daughter is being abused, but you won't let her divorce. Your other daughter is in a loveless relationship, and she's trying to move on to somebody else, but you're keeping her in this relationship just because it'll get you further in your career. Does that make any sense?
I don't understand.
Like he literally straight up said it. He's like, can't you stay with him and marry him so I can get a better job after I retire from being a school principal? Yeah. It's like, are you fucking serious? You want your child to marry someone she doesn't love, that she cannot get along with, and that manipulates her all the time. Yeah. Just because it gets you a better job after you retire? Just go on vacation. Like, why do you need a better job after you retire? That's ridiculous. Yeah. Why would you like
Why would you put your kid through that?
Right? You should never, like, you. So.
Very passionate.
Oh, man. So the father figure, like, the father had, like, a very, very, I'm the man of the house, patriarch, patriarch kind of status kind of thing. So he, like, you have to tell me what you do, even though you're 30 some years old, living on your own. I have to make the decisions for you, kind of thing. And that's like a culture thing, right? That's Korean culture. Arab culture is like that too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, pretty sure like a lot of different cultures are like that. Where the man of the house, the father is the father, and he tells you who you should be marrying, what you should be doing, and blah blah blah. And it's like, that's all fucking bullshit. So that was his issue. You shouldn't. That's not something you do, because he kept saying, he's like, he would say to the wife, you should be keeping them more in line. Like, you shouldn't, like, they shouldn't be disrespecting us like this, or they should be listening to us and doing what we tell them to do. And then the mom's like, no, we're, you know what I mean? Like, one of the lines that she says is like, we're here to guide them, right? As parents, you're here to guide your children.
Yeah.
Right?
You let them make their mistakes. You let them learn their lessons.
Yeah.
You just help when they need it.
Exactly. And you don't tell them, I need a better job, so you're gonna marry this fucking cocksucker. No, I'm sorry, you're not gonna do that. Excuse my language. I'm sorry, Blakely. But you don't do that. You're here as a parent. You're here to guide them. You don't force your beliefs on the child. You don't tell the child, he hit you once, that's okay. Like,
I'm
don't
pretty
divorce
sure he
him.
hit her more, though.
Yeah, he did.
She had like a book of it.
He beat the shit out of her.
Yeah.
Like, he beat her regularly.
Yeah.
Whenever he came home angry, he would beat her.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's where, like, when she mentions at one point she's pregnant, you're like, what the fuck? When did they do it? And then you realize, shit, he raped her.
Yeah. And
then the fact that the mom, after the daughter tells her about being beat by him, the mom was like, no, it's just like, you shouldn't get divorced. You shouldn't get divorced. You know what I mean? And then the mom starts the mom starts to, like, lean towards her daughter. Like, okay, maybe you should, maybe you should. And then she says, Mom, I'm pregnant.
Yeah. And
then the mom's like, you can't get divorced anymore.
Yeah. I wonder
Excuse me?
I wonder if in Korea they believe that even when you're married, if it's rape or not.
They do.
They do? Because
I don't remember. I don't know if you remember the scene. When we were rewatching the scene, you went to the bathroom. So the scumbag went to see his lawyer friend.
Oh,
okay. They went to play. Yeah. They went to the batting cage, and the lawyer friend's like, he tells the lawyer friend about the situation. It's his friend's acquaintance. Oh, so he tells him, in even if you're married, if there's no consent, you know what I mean? Like, you because you're still your own person. If there's no consent, it's still considered rape. That's
amazing though. Yeah. Because like here it's always iffy.
Yeah, it's really really bad. Yeah.
It's a touchy subject.
Yeah, like the laws here and there are all skewed. So let's not go into the laws, but in the show they're explaining.
That's a good thing to put out there, though. Like.
Yeah, he literally told him, like, you would lose.
He probably shot his pants.
Yeah, his face. He was like, oh. And the guy even told him, like, yo, is it you? And he's like, no. He's like, okay, good, because even if it's you, don't ask me to represent you, because I'm not dealing with that. And I was like, oh, it's that bad.
I wonder if that opened his eyes a bit to see, like, he was actually in the wrong and, like, he deserves to be beat to shit.
Well, some people don't see that. But even at the end, he was still trying to scheme his way of not getting a divorce. You know what I mean? Like, you really didn't want to get divorced. Obviously,
yeah,
it's
like
not
the scene that they were eating, like him and the other brother-in-law, or like whatever, Jisoo.
the other friggin' and Ji-Seok, yeah, and he realized like, oh, this guy's pathetic too, and just got up and left. Yeah, because they're both.
It's like still trying to scheme. Oh, if you get married, it will take the eyes off me for like fix my relationship. And it's like, the wife isn't gonna give you the chance to fix your relationship. Move on, please.
Yeah, it was. That was bad. It was bad. Oh man. Okay, so one of the yeah, we went on
tangents.
Yeah, tangents, but very passionate tangents. One of the things one of the things in this show that they kind of try and do is what Ji-Seok tries to do to Jeong-In, what Jeong-In's father tries to do to her and her sisters, what Jeong-In's sister, Jeong-In's brother-in-law tries to do to her sister, is pretty much say your feelings for whatever your feelings don't matter, kind of thing. So one of the things that was like when she broke up with Ji-Seok and she went to Jiho, he every time he tried to like get her back, he would always say something like, "Oh, it's just you don't understand your own feelings. It's like a fleeting moment." And then the dad would said the same thing, where it's like you don't even understand your own feelings, kind of thing. It's like, yo, your feelings are your own feelings. No one dictates what your feelings are. You know what I mean? If you feel that you love this person, then that's your feelings. No one dictates your feelings. You don't listen to other people and be like, oh no, you don't actually like this person. You think you do, but you actually don't. No, that's not how this fucking works. Like, who are you to say how I feel? You're not in my head. You're not in my body. Right? What I feel is not what you're feeling at this moment.
That's so shitty.
Right? And that was like the dad's thing. It's like, oh, you don't understand your own feelings. Like this is gonna go away soon. What?
But like in the end, that usually pushes people closer together. Like you think about it more and you realize, oh no, I do actually love this person. Yeah. And like
it makes you think. It's like it makes you start actually like questioning your feelings. Like, oh, do I actually like this person? And you start thinking. Oh, no, I still do.
And I really like the fact that she never faltered.
Oh yeah.
Whatever that word is. She never like went back to him saying, "Oh no, I actually like you or I love you." Blah, blah, blah. It's like, no, she was done. Like the moment she broke up with you, she was done. She wanted to be with Jae-ho. Like that was it.
Yeah. Exactly. Away. And sorry, I've been saying his name at Ji-Seok. It's Gi-Seok.
Gi-Seok?
Yeah, because it's so.
Way to ruin it.
So Ji-Seok is like this. So G.
That makes no sense to me. Okay.
I know what I'm saying is like. That's Gi. Yeah.
Anyways.
Sorry. Yeah. Anyway, so.
But no, go away.
Well, that's it. It's like.
I do like the show for putting light to that. Like you can kind of see like.
Yeah. It really.
Like there was so many different types of relationships within one show.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the younger sister and Jiho's friend was great. Yeah. That was a good relationship. That was cute. Yeah, and that was what's great about this show is like there's so much to it. Yeah. Like there's so much the relationships between everybody. You know what I mean? Like everybody, the sisters, the parents, the husband, the ex-boyfriend, the new boyfriend. You know what I mean? His friends, Jiho's friends. I feel so bad. They were caught in the middle of it because one of them works with Gi-Seok. Yeah. And was the one that not introduced because they already knew, but like brought Jiho to the basketball games with Gi-Seok. And he just kept getting shat on by Gi-Seok after Jiho stole his girl.
But it's again like, why are you putting other people in the middle of your relationship?
Because he's a piece of trash. I don't know what other explanation you need. But like, it was a great show, show, and it showed like this is a show you want to watch
Mm-hmm.
and really follow along the story, and try not to get overly passionate like I
Like
have.
we did.
Like yeah, like we did, like yelling at the TV. You'll yell at the TV for some of the fucking
Oh my goodness, yeah.
some of the stuff that these scumbags do.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And the dad,
Mm-hmm.
like sometimes you want to feel bad for the father.
You do feel bad for him because it's like you think like what first like what century are you freaking living in?
Yeah.
And then like why my thing was like why didn't you see that your daughters weren't happy? Like isn't your daughters like
but
aren't their happiness what you want?
But that's what didn't matter to him.
Apparently not.
So like at one point he even says it doesn't matter. Like their feelings don't matter. That's what he was pretty much saying. It's like they don't understand their own feelings.
Then you shouldn't have had children.
So it's like, yo, this is why your daughters are rebellious.
No, but at that point, but then, like the thing is, like if that's how you feel, don't have kids. If your kids' feelings don't matter, don't have kids. You should not have them because you will not raise them correctly, and they will be sociopaths.
Because when the children should be listening to their parents. They should be listening, and everything their parents say should be law and should be written down in a book and to be followed to the T. Right? But it's like, yo,
no.
we are individuals. Raise your child as an individual.
Yeah.
Let them think for themselves. Let them believe what they want to believe and just guide them through life.
Yeah.
Don't dictate how they're supposed to feel. If they fall in love with someone, they fall in love with that person. Like they fall out of love with that person, they fall out of love with that person. It's not you.
Mm-hmm.
It's them.
Yeah.
They decide what they're feeling.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because it's their feelings. It's inside them. Like if my stomach hurt, I'm not gonna go up to you and ask, why does my stomach hurt? Unless you're a doctor with x-ray machines, no, you're not gonna know. You know, so it's like, why am I having this anxiety? Oh, you're not gonna know.
Yeah.
It's inside me.
Yeah.
So if I'm like, oh, I'm having an anxiety attack, don't be like, no, you're not. Well, screw you too then. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's, don't dictate what
Mm-hmm.
people are supposed to think and feel. That's not how this works. We're individuals. We are human beings, for the most part.
Unless you're an alien.
Yeah,
But you can see it though. Like he does it to his wife too.
Yeah, and that's why I felt really bad for the mom, because she was like, every time you see her sway towards her kids, he would bring in his opinion. You know what I mean? And then when she finally decided, I'm divorcing your father, and leaves, right?
Yeah.
And goes stays with her daughter for a few days, and comes when she goes back.
Mm-hmm.
She's a lot more clear-headed, more level-headed too, where she doesn't take his shit anymore,
Mm-hmm.
which is good.
Yeah.
Which is what she needed to do to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, if you're not, I don't care how old you are, you can be in your 60s. If you don't want to be with the person you're with, fucking leave them. Like, you're never too old to start fresh.
Mm-hmm.
Never too old.
No.
Anything. You're never too old to start fresh.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you're in a relationship and the guy is beating you, the guy's abusive, if it's a toxic relationship, he doesn't even have to physically abuse you. He can verbally abuse you. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's not worth it. There are 7 billion people on this damn planet. There's bound to be one other person that will love you. Like, it's not worth it. It's not. And even if there's no one else that'll love you. Love yourself first. This person who is treating you the way that they are does not deserve your love, does not deserve your time, does not deserve your fucking existence. You need to be with yourself at that point.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not worth it. You have all the time in the world. You cannot, don't put it in your mind that no one else is going to love you. Don't put that in your mind. That's not something, it's not something that exists. Okay? Someone else is going to love you. There's always somebody. And if at that point in your life, you haven't found that person, love yourself. Love yourself. Okay? That's where love starts. You love yourself before you can find love. That's why toxic relationships come at you. It's because you're not loving yourself first. Because if you don't love yourself, you can't love others.
Yeah.
Right?
True.
And I'm going to say this countless times. And if you don't believe me, listen to BTS. You need to love yourself before you love others. And once you start loving yourself, that energy, that aura is gonna go out. It's gonna find others that'll love you. People are gonna feel that energy and they're be like, oh, they're gonna be attracted to that energy, right? And you can see that in this show, when Jiho first sees her, it was kind of he lit up.
Yeah.
And that energy that lit up attracted her.
Yeah.
Right? Because it was a warm, nice energy. Because he was always about his kid.
Yeah.
And then
this girl comes in.
And he's like, oh, maybe I should. You know what I mean? But obviously it's a struggle, right? Because he still has issues, right? Because you see at the beginning, he's like, yo, I don't know because I don't think I deserve it. No. But then she helps him realize, yes, you deserve it. And he starts to be like, oh yeah, I do deserve it. I do, and that's it. You have to put it in your head that you deserve love. So you need to love yourself and you deserve love before you can give it, right? Because you don't need to go and throw yourself out there. Okay, I am very passionate about them. I'm sorry. You don't have to go and find 1,010,000 different other people to love when you don't love yourself yet. Because once you love yourself, that love's gonna come to you. It's gonna attract you like a magnet. It's gonna come. So chillax. It's gonna come. Okay. And in the meantime, listen to BTS. And EXO. Anyway, so I think I'm done preaching for the day.
Tangents. Oh my god.
I'm so sorry. Anyways, great show.
Amazing cast.
Amazing
acting.
Amazing. Like, it was so well done.
Yeah.
Like, it was really, really well done. Very emotional. This is your typical, like, slice of life. Real life drama. Real life drama. Like, that's what it is. It's a drama that is real life. It takes real. It feels real. The emotions feel real.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, when she realizes how much she loves him, you can see it. She was her character was so, I loved her character. One, she reminded me of you because she's so fierce, right? She's so feisty and she was so straightforward.
Yeah.
Right?
Like the moment she knew she loved him, it was done.
It was done. Yeah.
Like, she's going to fight everyone.
It was no like, I love him, but I don't know if I can do it. It was, I love him. I'm going to fuck everybody up. She was ready to take on the world, and it was amazing. I loved it
because he needed that. He needed that person to fight for him and to fight for a relationship.
Exactly. Oh, there goes my mic again. Sorry. Exactly. And then that's it. He needed that. That's what he needed, and he got it, right? Because it came to him when he needed it the most, especially. Anyway, so great cast, great story, great everything. Highly recommend it. It's on Netflix, so please check it out.
And if you like this one, watch Something in the Rain.
Yeah, actually, watch his
amazing.
Something in the Rain, which is with Jung Hae-In and and oh my god, I forgot her name. So oh my god, she was in Crash Landing on You, and she's officially dating Hyung Bin from Memories of Alhambra, the two of them. So Hyung Bin and the girl from Crash Landing on You that we were just watching, and they're dating officially. They've been dating for 8 months.
I didn't connect that at all.
Yeah, they actually started dating.
Shorter hair, right? In the show?
In Something in the Rain.
Yeah, she had shorter hair, right?
I think so. It's been a while.
Weird.
Yeah. Well, she's a completely different character.
She was hugely different.
She's a really great actress, and she played a really completely different her character is very different from both those shows. So
damn,
yeah, really good.
Chameleon.
I know she's from the Seoul family. I just can't remember her. I always mix it up because her name is so close to So Ye-ji, who is from It's Okay to Not Be Okay. Their names are very similar.
Okay.
They're not the same. That's the thing. I'm just like blanking.
Anyways,
so
great show.
Great show. Great cast.
Really recommend.
Yeah, another like real life kind of drama, and so check those out. Jung Hae-In, who also in While You Were Sleeping. Han Ji-min, she is in The Light in Your Eye. I've mentioned this before. This is the one about dementia. You really need to watch that. She played she did an amazing job, and she has a new movie called José. With Nam Joo-hyuk, and it looks fantastic, so I need to see it. Recommend it. And Kim Joo-Han, who played Gi-Seok, he was in The Time. So The Time is actually an amazing show, and you should definitely watch it because there's like a twist that I didn't even see coming, like at all. Until I read about it afterwards, and it made more sense when I read about it afterwards. But anyway, so I guess that's it for today. This is still going on live, but you guys can catch it on Friday at noon. Everywhere, Spotify, YouTube, Anchor, all that stuff.
Subscribe, so you can get the updates every week.
That's it for today. So we'll see you again, and take care.
Adios.
And peace.